the carburetor out of the McCulloch chainsaw. And this is the kit to rebuild it. I got lots of comments on it's the carb, it's the carb, it's the carb, so that's the route we're going to go. I also had a lot of comments on it being the fuel lines, and I double checked them. They're solid. The one in the tank is like almost brand new. So, I mean, whoever spray painted the saw obviously did some work on it, and I'm suspecting that they replaced those fuel lines because, like I said, they're almost brand new. The external fuel line that goes from the tank to the carburetor isn't quite as in good shape, but it's solid, so we're gonna go with that. And if push comes to shove, I'll go ahead and replace them if the rebuild on the carb doesn't work. But, you know, like I said, process of elimination. If we eliminate the possibilities that it could be, then eventually it gets down to the one that it is, and there we go. But anyway, lots of paperwork. I have never rebuilt a 2-cycle carburetor before, and I'll be quite honest with you. This kit and all the parts in it, and then the blow up that they have on here of the carb is a little intimidating. So this will be fun because, like I said, I've never done it before. I'm pretty much going to follow their little instructions on here because otherwise I got no place to start in my head. So we'll go that route. I'm going to pull you up here a bit closer and give you a better view of the work surface. I put down paper and wrapped it around the plywood that the saw was sitting on last time because it was dirty as hell. And even though I wiped it off, it was still dirty enough. So I figure if I do it on the nice clean paper, then I'm keeping the dirt away from the carb. So here we go. want to scratch up the body of the carb, and I know that that thing comes out, and so does this one, and those are domed and these are dipped, and I'm thinking that they need replaced, but I don't know how to get them out. As there's the larger one, there's the smaller one. He's in a washer, but the washer goes to something else. Anyway, how in the world does this come out? I was hoping that by blowing pressure into the different holes they'd pop them out, but that's not what's happening. Wait a minute. Whoops. Really got to fix that air nozzle. Okay, so I cleaned up the little plate that goes out in front of the carb this way. And in the process, I noticed that they had used 2 gaskets like this. Well, guess what that does? It clogs that hole, which, if I'm not mistaken, creates a vacuum which operates the diaphragm, which would explain why it wasn't pumping gas. So, when I put it back together, I'll use that on the front so that it goes to the end of this channel, which lines up with the hole in the saw, and then this one on the back, which lines up with the hole on this side. And we'll just see if that actually helps, because really the parts that I took out of this thing look fairly new. I mean, they're not in bad shape. So I'm going to reassemble it with the new parts anyway, and we'll go from there. I'm not going to replace those plugs. I've got to reading on there and it's really not necessary. So, but yeah, it's a place to start. I don't think I need to put that back in with the impact. Yeah, I had to grind this socket down to fit the thing. I didn't have a thin-walled 5/16, or enough of a thin-wall 5/16 to do it. So now I do. Next thing is I have to drill that hole right there, because obviously the new one doesn't have that. So I did find the right drill bit. What did I do with it? There we go. So that just fits in there. So I'm going to drill that real quick and then I'll be right back. Okay, got that. So now I have my little tiny hole in the same place it was on the old one. Back them out. Everybody's saying about one turn, 1 to 1.5, so I'm going to do 1 1/4, and we'll adjust it from there. There's 1 1/4. Old parts. Okay, I gotta clean that off. So then that guy lines up that hole, and then this guy on the outside. And that should be ready to go back in. We'll find out if it runs. Alright, let me do some resituating. We'll get the saw back up here and see if we can get it back in. Okay, so this is a bit tricky because of the throttle and all the fun stuff that's got to all slide into place all at the same time, pretty much. And the choke spring and the fuel line. There it goes. Well, you know. And then it's just tightening the bolts, which is a very slow process because there's no room to turn a wrench hardly at all. Oop, wrong way. Oh, and by the way, I got the right plug for it. Try this squinch. What do you know? Okay, so ironically, the squinch from the Chinese chainsaw fits this plug on the McCulloch. That's just kind of humorous to me. Alright, we'll put some gas back in it. See if she'll fire. $25 to 1. So there's about half a tank. About. Alright, let's try putting a little gas in the carb. That was plenty. Oh, you know what? No, it's on run, so that's good. Oh, gotta break that off. Bend it down at least. It needs adjusted, but by golly, that worked. Okay. Well, guys, it's unfortunately raining today, and I'm not going to adjust this inside the shop with the windows all closed up, so that's it for today. But I will be putting up a third video on this little project. And in that one, we'll get it adjusted, and we'll get the chain sharpened, and we'll get the blade bar and chain back on it, and we'll go cut some, see what it does. Thanks for watching, guys. This is kind of fun.